Hello, this is Mr. Abear, and this is Fractions and More Properties with Vitruvian Man. Let's start with the proportions of the arm. Leonardo says that from the elbow to the fingertips is 1/4 the height of the man. I translate that O is equal to 1/4 m. Leonardo also says that from the elbow to the armpit is 1/8 of the height of the man, so P is 1/8 m. And finally, Leonardo tells us that the length of the hand is 1/10 of the height of the man. Q equals 1/10 m. But what about this length, from the armpit to the wrist? Well, that would be from the armpit to the fingertips minus the length of the hand, wouldn't it? So 1/4 m plus 1/8 m minus 1/10 m. To solve that issue, we're going to use some properties of real numbers. The commutative property of multiplication, stated here, basically means that you can reverse the order of what's being multiplied. Some people use the first two letters CO of commutative to remember change order. The multiplicative identity property tells us that any number multiplied by 1, or 1 multiplied by that number, is equal to that number. In other words, if you want to find the identity of A, multiply it by 1, and you'll get A. And then finally, the distributive property. This is the one that tells us that if we multiply something by a pair of numbers that are being added, then we can distribute that number, A times B plus A times C. But the distributive property also tells us that if we have a situation like this, we can go backwards and change it to a situation like this. We call that factoring. So let's deal with the first part of the equation. Here is the part from the elbow to the fingertips, and here's the part from the elbow to the armpit. How to add these together? Well, first let's use the commutative property to reverse 1/4 m and get it m times 1/4, and to reverse 1/8 m and get n times 1/8. Next we can use the distributive property. M is going to fill the role of A in this particular example, and B and C are going to be 1/4 and 1/8 respectively. Then we'll factor the M out and put it in front of the two things that are being added. M times 1/4 plus 1/8. Next we need to add the fractions, but they have unlike denominators. So remember, if you want to add them, you make them have like denominators. And to do that, we'll use the multiplicative identity property. Here we're using 1/4 in the role of A and multiplying it by 2/2. Now 2/2 has a value of 1. So if I multiply 1/4 by 2/2, I am not changing the value of 1/4. I'm multiplying it by 1 and getting something with the same value. So I'm multiplying 1 times 2 on the top and 4 times 2 on the bottom, and I'm getting 2/8. But 2/8 has the same identity, the same value as 1/4. So I haven't really changed anything, I've just sort of made it into a form that's easier to add, because now I have like denominators, and I can simply add across the top. 2/8 plus 1/8 equals 3/8. Yay, 3/8, that's the answer. So, if 2/8 plus 1/8 equals 3/8, then m times this quantity of things being added is equal to m times 3/8. And then using the commutative property, I can change that into 3/8 m. So going back to my original equation, the length of the arm from armpit to wrist is equal to, from the elbow to the fingertips, plus from the elbow to the armpit, minus the length of the hand. 1/4 m plus 1/8 m minus 1/10 m. I've fixed this middle part. I've figured out how to add 1/4 m and 1/8 m. So I can just change this, simplify it to say 3/8 m minus 1/10 m. So from the armpit to the wrist is a length represented by 3/8 m minus 1/10 m. But what is 3/8 minus 1/10? Well, you could use the same technique we used to figure that out.